Hey there, good to see you again. Looks like you're interested into checking out the last 3 layers of the mythological and cryptid Bane's iceberg chart. It's where the lines between fact and fiction get blurred and we explore some fascinating creatures that have captured our imagination for ages. I'm super excited to take you on this journey with me, so get ready to uncover some secrets and dive into the myths and legends of those incredible creatures. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new and make sure you check out my previous videos. I have many iceberg charts on my channel waiting for you. But before we start this video, thank you for watching and enjoy this video. Let's start the layer 6 with a creature known as a jewel. Have you ever heard of a jewel, also known as the bush dog cryptid? It's supposed to be a wild dog that lives around the Sahara Desert in North Africa. It was first spotted way back in 1928 by a guy named Theodore Mondon. But the thing is, scientists still haven't officially discovered this type of dog. Yet. The last time anyone saw it was in 1992 when some hunters from the village West Mauritania reported a sightseeing, but since then no one was able to find it. The Ajul are not solitary creatures, they hunt in packs, which range in size from 3 to 13. They are also reported to have supernatural powers. According to the local tribesmen of the Sahara, pheromones to cause great discord amongst the area's residents, allowing them to hunt their prey. But there are also no reports of Ajuls attacking humans. And also one little fact, Ajuls appear as enemies in a game that is called Resident Evil 5. The next one on this list is the creature called Agagwe. It's a human-like creature that has been seen in the forest of East Africa. It goes by various names such as the Kakundakari or Kilobma. Captain William Hitchens allegedly spotted it in the year 1900, but it didn't receive any media attention until 37 years later, where the discovery was published in a magazine December issue. The difference between the Agagwe and a modern chimpanzee are those that the Agagwe have rounded forehead, smaller but sharper teeth, and hair and skin color. In the late 1950s, an animal collector reported seeing a Agagwe in Zaire. He saw it get caught in a bird snare, but it quickly freed itself and escaped. The Agagwe is likely a surviving species of a primate that lived 2.5 million years ago as a very early form of human. In Ainu and Shinto folklore, there exists a colossal creature called Akoro Kaumi. It is believed to be a creature that is part human and part octopus, and it can be found in the Funka Bay in Hokkaido, Japan. Sightseeings of this creature have been reported in other areas such as Taiwan and Korea for many centuries. Another name for this creature can translate to long-fingered woman. In the Shinto mythology, it has a human-like appearance and a bright red color. It's around 120 meters long and can self-amputate and regenerate limbs like an octopus. Shinto followers believe it has healing powers and offer gifts as the Nade Yakushi shrine in Kyoto. The legend of this creature goes like this. A villager in Abuta Toyura was cursed by a spirit to witness their town's destruction. A spider-human hybrid named Yashikapu carried out the curse, killing many people. The sea kami, Rempankanui, intervened by transforming the Yashikapu into octopus and banishing her to the sea. A sea creature grew larger and ate bigger prey like whales and ships. It once swallowed a fisherman who called for help. Because of that, the Renkabui was poisoned when it heard his cries, causing it to emit a dark and noxious fluid. But Yashikapu learned to use this venom to attack prey. In the 1800s, a guy named John Batchelor saw the creature to use the fluid to even attack a ship, proving that the myth apparently was true. According to the Argentinian Toba folklore, the creature's name, I don't wanna butcher, is the father of the owner of all snakes and has control over them worldwide. The creature is also connected to rainbows, water and storms. and it's said to reside near bodies of water and in deep caves. The creature is a large, multicolored serpent that resembles a bushmaster, and it's around 10 meters long. It has a prominent red crest on its head and a saw-like structure around its body that helps it to move, and its tail ends in two hooks which it uses to catch prey. Do you guys know what bear dogs are? Have you ever heard of that breed of dogs? They belong to a Caniformia suborder and have their own family called Amphicyonidae. Their appearance is similar to a mix between bears and dogs, like the name. Although there were many species in the past, they begin to die out. The most recent fossils found in the New World date back to around 2 million years ago, while in the Old World, the most recent fossils are approximately 10,000 years old. There is some evidence that bear dogs may survive in remote areas much longer. According to the legends and sightseeing from some icy valleys on the border between Canada and Alaska, the Wahalea, a wolf-like creature, may still exist today. Other details, they differ from true wolf. Its head was too wide for that of a wolf, and its body was too heavy, almost like a bear one. But even though it was larger than a wolf, it had shorter legs than a wolf, so that's why they're nicknamed bear dogs. Again, we have a creepypasta on the list, just to give you a heads up. It is an early creepypasta posted on a paranormal board on the 4chan on Saturday, August 8, 2009. The plot of the creepypasta involved a person who discovers a pile of rocks and a mini DV, a video cassette, and a torn envelope scattered on the ground while walking. Inside the envelope there was a note written in ash or charcoal that contained the phrase, "I killed the camera head. It took Trevor and get help if I don't come back." The content of the cassette are uploaded on YouTube by a person who probably goes silent. Despite being categorized as bullshit, the story remained on the site for years until it was shut down and all media, including Camerahead, was removed. The story's absence wasn't noted until years later when people realized it was no longer available. I hope this gives you a general idea about the creepypasta, so let's move on to the next entry. Little is known about this entry, so apparently the Chupachu is a cousin of the Chupacabra and it's a subspecies. This indicates that the Chupacabra managed to mutate or evolve over the years. Because I only managed to find one Reddit post on this theme, maybe some of you know more about this creature, and if you do, drop a comment down below and share your knowledge. There are many mysteries floating around the American Civil War of the 1860s. A group of civil soldiers of the Union Army posing proudly with a corpse of a giant reptile which is 100 million years extinct. The corpse apparently belongs to a Petrosaurus reptile. One of these photos, known as the yellow photo, is widely recognized as a hoax by researchers. It is staged with actors and a model of a Petrosaurus for a TV series called Freaky Links. The model used in this photo is now displayed in the International Cryptozoology Museum in Portland, Maine. The other photo is known as PTP. It is prompted by John Whitcomb as a legitimate Civil War photo of the Petrosaurus creature. However, many experts believe that the creature, soldiers, and background elements in the photo suggest that it's a hoax. For example, the wings lack the small claws that the real Petrosaurus possessed, and the wings are bent unnaturally. We came across different frightening creatures, but a pumpkin with a taste of devouring objects is definitely intriguing. In Bantu folklore, pumpkins have the potential to grow into a huge devouring creature. Such plants are said to grow where evil sorcerers or ogres were slain. A legend tells us the story of the devouring gourd Usambara by a group of young boys playing outside. One of the boys pointed out the pumpkin's impressive size, and to their surprise, the pumpkin spoke back. It simply said, "If you pluck me, I'll pluck you." The boys rushed home to tell their mother, but she didn't believe them. The sisters of the boys wanted also to see the pumpkin, and it remained silent. The pumpkin grew until it devoured everyone except for a pregnant woman and her son. The son sought revenge and taunted the pumpkin until it was defeated. The boy cut it open with a knife, released the villagers unharmed, and went on to becoming the hero who helped the whole village. Back in a hot summer of 1973, folks living in Newtown, Lafayette area of New Jersey were freaking out over reports of a big human-like alligator. The creature got a name, Gatorman, so people were saying it was a massive man-sized fish from some Native American legend that could not be caught. What's interesting is that the state employee actually acknowledged the existence of this New Jersey Gatorman, which is interesting. We need to mention the creation of the crocodile armor on the bodies of young men in the Kaningara tribe, which involves acquiring scars to resemble the skulls of a crocodile. However, this is just mainly a coincidence. The statement came in 1977 when a New York City conservation nationalist, Alfred Hulstruck, reported that the state's southern steer was the apparent home of a scaled man-like creature which appears at dusk from the red algae-infested waters to forage among the fern and moss-covered uplands. Although this is the only official comment in relation to the New Jersey Gatorman, the simple fact that the city officially publicly acknowledged the creature's existence says something about its credibility. From bear dogs to vampire dogs. The Gertalso, known as the vampire dog of Annerdale, was a mysterious creature that killed between 300 and 400 sheep over a 6-month period in Cumberland, England in 1810. Even from the first attack, it was believed that the killings had not been done by an ordinary dog. The slain sheep have several of their organs been removed and eaten, and they were also drained from its blood, which led to his nickname. Local farmers left their normal duties to track down and kill this creature. A reward of 10 pounds, which was a significant amount in these days, was offered to capturing this elusive creature. However, despite the traps set by the locals, the creature managed to avoid them. Some believe that the creature had supernatural powers. Dead sheep were poisoned and left on the hillside in the hope of attracting the animal, but it continued to evade the capture. But one man, John Steele, succeeded to see and wound the geared dog. The dog was weakened, so it was no match for the pursuing hounds to capture the creature, and it was finally killed. The corpse of the vampire dog was weighed, and it was about 51 kilograms. After all the locals had seen it, it was sent to the Keswick Museum and Art Gallery, and unfortunately, as time goes by the 1950s, the stuffed exhibition was getting very raggy and moth-eaten, so it was destroyed. Yara is a figure from Brazilian mythology based on the ancient Tupi and Guarani mythology. Depending on the oral tradition and the context of the story, she can be seen either as a water nymph, a siren, or a beautiful mermaid that lives in the Amazon River. According to the oral tradition of the Brazilian folklore, Yana was a beautiful indigenous woman in a tribe who developed a talent for warfare and gaining admiration from all of her tribesmen, but stirred up the envy of her brothers, who decided to sabotage her by murdering her during the night. The legend says Yara knew how to defend herself, so after her brothers attacked her, she accidentally killed them. Discovered by her father, she fled and took refuge in the woods, but was captured and punished for her murders of her brothers by being drowned in the river. She then turned into a mermaid upon being saved by a nearby fish on the night of a full moon, and decided to take revenge on all men by seducing them and drowning them in the river. For centuries there have been reports of a large creature living underwater near the lake Laberkin in Siberia. Recently, a team of scientists from the Russian Geographical Society found a skeletal remain of an animal that fits the description of the devil of the lake Laberkin. However, skeptics are still unsure of the creature's existence. The team has not been able to confirm or deny the various hypotheses about what kind of creature this could be, but they have found remains of jaws and a skeleton of an animal. The researcher team, which included divers from the Russian Emergency Ministry, camera people from the Sakhan National Broadcasting Company, and scientists from the Yakut State University, was gathering samples of the water, plants, and animals from the lake bottom to determine more about this creature. It's commonly believed that it may be a big fish like a pike. However, according to a scientist, Gerasimov, pike does not live long enough to reach such a massive size, and also fish require two key factors to grow: proper nourishment and warm water temperatures. Even if the nutrition was excellent in the lake, the temperature in this area is unlikely to be high enough. Therefore, the notion of the gigantic pike seems far-fetched. In Germarov's expert opinion, this creature still remains a mystery. I truly wish that the Mantis Man creature is nothing but a fictional entity, but we need to talk about him. So, the Mantis Man is a roughly 7-foot tall bug-like creature that is reported to be seen in New Jersey near the riverside. Two people saw the creature by the riverside while fishing. Despite its massive size, the Mantis Man can touch the riverbed without being swept away by the flow of the water. Based on all available reports, the creature does not harm anyone and appears to be afraid of humans, as it always runs away when approached. There are rumors circulating that the Mantis Man could be a result of a failed experiment. Some believe that it was purposely released near a river by someone who could not control it. Others speculate that it may be a mutation that occurred during breeding, resulting in its massive size. There are even those who suggest that there may be multiple creatures like this in existence. The creature is often compared to a praying mantis due to its appearance and behavior, such as ability to camouflage and spreads its wings. However, it's unlikely that the current atmosphere could sustain a praying mantis of this size, leading some to believe that this creature is possibly just a hoax. Have you ever heard about Mapingari, a creature from Brazilian folklore that is supposed to be a giant sloth or ape-like thing? Apparently it stinks so bad that it can knock you out. Some people think it may be a ground sloth from way back in the Ice Age. Some samples of the Mapingari hairs and droppings were collected by investigator David Oren, but turned out to be disposed of giant anteaters and the hair of small rodents. In many indigenous communities in the Amazon region, the Mapingari is considered to be a sacred and powerful creature, and is often associated with supernatural powers. Some legends suggest that it can control the weather or bring good fortune to those who encounter it. There have also been attempts to capture or study the Mapingari, but those efforts have been largely unsuccessful. The dense jungle and rough terrain of the Amazon make it difficult to conduct thorough scientific research, and many sightings of this creature have been dismissed as hoaxes or misidentification of other animals. Entry 16 is a sea creature called Moha Moha that is said to live near the Great Barrier Reef in Queensland, Australia. It looks like a turtle, it has a long neck, a large dome-shaped back and a huge fish tail. The creature was first seen in 1890 by M.S. Lowell, a school teacher on Great Sandy Island. There was 9 other sightings reported in the area within several days. The natives in the area have encountered this creature before and called it Moha Moha. They believe it was a dangerous beast that would attack the villagers and kill tribe members. Many other similar accounts have come from the James Cook in the 1770s about the creature roaming around his ship, and by Jacob Luck in 1964, where he stated he saw a decomposing carcass on a rock looking like this creature. In 2001, in the capital city of New Delhi, an ape-like creature terrorized the city. The monkey got the nickname simply Monkey Man of New Delhi. During May of the year, rumors started circulating in New Delhi about a monkey-like creature that was attacking individuals at night. Although there were inconsistencies in the eyewitnesses' accounts, the creature was generally described as being 120 centimeters tall and with thick black hair. It was also said to wear a metal helmet, metal gloves and pants, and glowing red eyes, and sometimes he was also wearing goggles. I mean, it sounds like a video game character until this point. But let's move on with the story. But some believe the monkey man is an incarnation of the Hindu god Hanuman. Others think it's a variation of a Bigfoot. Also, shining bright light in the monkey man's face was said to ward him off. But the monkey man is believed today to be a product of mass hysteria. The Olidiao is a massive cryptid bat or floating reptile that is believed to exist in Central Africa. The name Olidiao is thought to have originated from the Ipulo language combining the words Ole and Nitya, and it's used to refer to a ceremonial dance mask representing demons. The Ipulo may use the name to refer to demons in general, rather than a creature itself. In pop culture, the Olidiao has been featured in lost tapes as cave demons, portrayed as a giant bat. What's interesting is that the creature is said to came from Tora Bora caves in Afghanistan, rather than Cameroon. Another fun fact that the creature Chico in Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker suggests that the Olidio is evidence that Petrosaurus still exists today. Now let's go back to the cold Russia to discuss the discovery of aquatic creature known as the organism 46b that was reportedly caught by a Russian scientific team near Vostok Station. The organism 46b is a deep-sea creature that was discovered by Russian researchers in 1980s during a deep-sea exploration mission. Organism 46b is a large octopus-like creature with a unique ability to rapidly shapeshift and camouflage itself, making it nearly impossible to detect. Some versions of the story suggest that the creature is highly intelligent and maybe even a creature out of this world. However, there is no scientific evidence to support the existence of the organism 46b, and the claims about the discovery by the Russian researchers appear to be completely fabricated. The story of the organism 46b is an example of a viral hoax that gained traction on the internet due to its sensational and mysterious nature. One of the points that proved the story is a hoax is a fact about the scientists where they made entries by ice core drilling, which is typically preceded by a passage only a few inches in diameter, certainly not large enough to transport a person to 2 miles of ice, never mind a tank capable of containing a 33-foot-long aquatic creature. Diving into a 4chan post from 2003 by the user EZ, he described the story of how he encountered a large sloth-like beast and even managed to injure one or more of them before being chased off. They are called Ruby Valley beasts that are supposed sloth-like cryptids in the Ruby Valley area of northern Nevada. Users from the K and X boards were going to the location of the EZ had talked about, but no info about his journey has been uploaded or even talked about on 4chan. It is unknown if the story is true or not, and if the beast even exists. The Shore Lady is a ram-sized creature found along the coasts of West Fjords of Iceland. The Fjorali is a creature with brownish gray that has muscles and barnacles growing on it, causing a unique scraping of a jingle sound when it walks. This serves as a warning to unexpected travelers of its presence. There have been reports that the Shore Lady has been webbed feet and hose. The Shore Lady is said to act aggressively, while others state that the creature will flee in the sea on rare occasions. This was mostly when he was spotted by humans. 22 on the list is quite interesting if you want to dive deeper into it. It's something like a SCP Foundation thing. So, to give you a general idea about the solar plexus clown glider, it is a term to describe the range of paranormal events that are believed to be caused by a corruptive entity that targets vulnerable individuals through their solar plexus chakra. Originally associated with the New Age practices in 1980s, the phenomenon gained traction in the late 1990s through a horror-themed email that warned people that reading or hearing the words of the solar plexus clown glider could lead to infection. Others believe that viewing certain black and white images online could also cause the infection. The SPCG appears to feed off humans' misery, bombarding its hosts with realistic hallucinations, glitches in reality, and waking them emotionally. The apparent sickness that comes from the SPCG contact is described as a similar to meth addicts' experience of withdrawal paranoia symptoms. Stellar Sea Ape is a creature that was only seen by an explorer named George Wilhelm Steller on August 10, 1741 in the waters of Shumig Islands in Alaska. Steller described the sea ape as having a man-like face and handsome body covered in short fur, and it resembles a sea lion. There have been much speculation and debate regarding this creature's existence over the years. Some argued that it may be based on a real animal, such as a walrus or a seal, while others believe it is purely mythical and created by Steller to make his scientific reports more exciting. Talipo is a creature from American folklore that is said to haunt the woods and prey of unexpected travelers. According to the legend, Talipo is a small furry creature with long tail and sharp claws, and it's known for its eerie high-pitched screech. The story of the Talipo typically involves a traveler who stumbles upon the creature's lair and takes something that belongs to it, such as its tail. In retaliation, the Talipo begins to stalk and terrorize the traveler, sometimes even killing them in a fit of rage. The origins of the Talipo legend are unclear, but it can be a part of American folklore for generations. The story has been passed down through oral tradition and has been featured in numerous works of literature and popular culture. Today, the Talipo remains a spooky and intriguing part of American folklore, and it's continued to capture the imagination of people around the world. Yeah, this one is kind of out of place for this list. Where, yeah, of course, some creatures on the list were aggressive, but considering this is a creepypasta with this topic, I think this would find a better place on some other list. But sure, why not? Let's talk about the six-legged red centaur. It is a name given to a bizarre-looking, unidentified creature that somewhat resembles a centaur from Greek mythology. It appeared in the following eyewitness account posted by an anonymous user on 4chan on November 2008. I won't talk about the creepypasta, but the creature only to keep it relevant to the list. It looked like a pale horse. It had a human-like torso but wider, with 6 legs, looking something like between a beetle's legs and horse legs. It had 2 human arms, a bald head with a bizarre look, and it didn't have any eyes, and its reproductive organ was in the place of its abdomen area. But let's talk about something more chill. Have you ever heard of the Toronto aerial jellyfish? It is a type of a UFO that has been spotted in Toronto. The particular UFO is known as the atmospheric jellyfish, which is essentially a flying jellyfish that hovers in the atmosphere. You might have seen it featured in the Secret Saturdays, where a British scientist named Dr. Maggie Aldrin Pocock suggests that aliens are likely explanation for these sightseeings. According to its testimony supplied by the UFO Sightseeings Daily, a Toronto witness reported he saw this UFO on April 12, 2012. A strange creature was said to have paid a visit to the small town of 1 Meter in Iowa. The strange events occurred in October 1903. Several respected members of the community told of a mysterious winged creature that terrorized some of the town's residents for several nights in the week. The description of the beast suggests that it was a large creature with bat-like wings. It left a terrible stench wherever it went, and even stranger, it fired beams of bright light from its forehead. Imagine just that. Locals tried to shoot the beast, but it didn't work. They took to a coal mine and found 2 other beasts. They all vanished as they were fired on and were never seen again. Wowie is a fearsome creature from Australian Aboriginal mythology. It resembles a 7-meter long goanna with huge frog-shaped head and 6 powerful legs. Although slow, the wowie was extremely stealthy and could gobble up a whole tribe in a single meal. The water-rat tribe, having finally enough of their suffering at the hands of the wowie, instructed all tribes in the area to gather together spears, stone axes, and many bundles of stick. When the wowie was at the far end of his cave, they staked up the bundles in a great heap at the entrance and set them on fire. After 7 days, the wowie finally emerged. Blinded and confused by the smoke, the tribesmen succeed in killing him with their weapons and freeing the land from the terrible menace. It is possible that the myth of the wowie was inspired by real-life encounters with Australians' megafauna such as the megalaina, which is actually a lizard that is bigger than the Komodo dragon, about 2 times larger than a car. Xing is an unknown primate in the Himalayan mountains that is said to be a subspecies of the orangutan, simply a mainland orangutan of the well-established range of their species, or possibly a larger relative of the golden-faced apes. The creature typically has black fur and yellowish-gray eyes and is said to reach a height of 10 feet. It is highly mobile, able to navigate through rocky terrain with ease. While it's commonly spotted in the lower regions of the mountains, it is tend to steer clear of civilization. And that was the last entry of the layer 6. So let's move to the next one. So the layer 7 starts with the creature Afank, a lake monster from the Welsh mythology. It is said to be a crocodile, dwarf, demon, or a beaver hybrid. The Afank is a legendary creature that is said to live in the lake and is known for attacking people who swim or fall into its habitat. One of the earliest documented accounts of the Afank comes from the 15th century poet Lewis Glyn Clotty. According to the legend, the Afank is a dangerous creature that can cause flooding and destruction if it's not appeased. In some versions of the story, a brave hero of group of heroes must capture or kill the Afank to save their village or town from destruction. The origin of the Afank legend is unclear, but it has been a part of Welsh folklore for generations. The story has been passed down through oral tradition and have been even featured in numerous works of literature and popular culture. Alicanto is a nocturnal bird that lives in the caves and mines of Chile. At night their feathers shine with a metallic color and their eyes emit a strange light. Alicanto is often depicted as a large bird, but the size and shape usually vary depending on the sightings or the tail. Alicanto comes in 2 types. One feeds on silver, while other feeds on gold. Sometimes the one that eats gold consumed so much that it became too heavy to fly. Their feathers, color and glow depend on their diet. They build their nests near the hills that contain precious stones that they can eat. Spotting an alicanto is considered a sign of good luck. If a miner can follow the alicanto without getting caught, they will find silver or gold. However, if the alicanto discovers them, it may push them off a cliff or lure them into a deep ravine. On the other hand, alicanto may assist humans into finding gold and silver if they favor them, providing that the human shares what they find with the bird. This is about the interesting story found on 4chan, called simply Antarctic Strider. It's about a scientific expedition 30 miles southeast of the McMurdo, Antarctica. It tells a story about a place where people shouldn't simply go, and there were those 5 creatures called strides living in there. They would be only seen at night, and it's a really interesting story to dive in, and I would recommend you check out the story for yourself. There are also a few videos on YouTube who dive deeper in this theme. The Auli, also known as the Aya Napa sea monster, is a creature that some believe inhabits the coast of Aya Napa in Cyprus. The local fishermen refer to it as the Philicoteres, which means the friendly monster. Although it has been known to damage fishing nets, There were also no reports of causing any harm to humans. The creature has been spotted on numerous times and has even the nickname the Cyprus to Loch Ness by some local newspaper. Some people speculate it is something like a crocodile or a serpent. Sometimes it is described as a monster with the form of a giant maiden with a serpent lower body, 6 dog heads and 12 forelimbs. Despite various sightings by tourists and locals, there is no concrete evidence that Aya Napa sea monster truly exists. Only a few short films and pictures exist as photographic evidence. Some believers of the myth may connect it to the mythical sea monster Scylla depicted in the mosaics from the house of Dionys in Paphos, Cyprus. Finally, something cute on the list. So let's talk about the star penguins. In 1995, while on a hunting trip, Robert Lawrence and his friend encountered something that they called black star penguins. As they looked up the canyon, they observed a group of synchronized creatures walking down the hillside and stopping at regular intervals. According to Lawrence, the creatures were black and walked in a uniform manner. He estimated them to be around 2 feet tall and standing upright. There are several explanations as to what the creature could be. They are simply an undiscovered species of we don't know about. Or the second one is pretty simply, they are demon penguins. I leave it to you to decide which you wanna believe into. There is a legend of an evil spirit called Diogen, also known as the Eye, that is said to haunt the Sonian forest in Belgium. It is often seen surrounded by smaller shadow figures appearing in a fog form. Although the story is based on true events, there have been no recent sightings of the spirit, and it has become one of the urban legends of the campfire tale. According to the book of De Kinder van het Penzant Bos, which was written in 1937, the legend of Diogen, it is said to have begun when local nuns began finding burnt bodies of young children in the Saunian forest near Brussels. It is said they found over 80 bodies and they were dumped throughout the forest and set ablaze. Very little is known about the case other than things we found in the book, which is believed to many to have been a work of fiction. A legend has it that a skin diver exploring the underwater caverns of Dublin Lake, Cheshire County in the early 1980s encountered a terrifying monster. The monster was simply named the Dublin Lake Monster. The guy emerged from the lake, shaking badly and mumbling about what he had seen. Another version of the legend involves a scuba diver who disappeared while exploring the deepest parts of the lake using a diving bell. He was later found without any clothes, rambling about the monsters of the lake. The scuba diver allegedly discovered dry, oxygen-filled pockets inhabited by this unclassified breed of subterranean cryptids. Unfortunately, no description of those creatures was ever reported, and the unidentified scuba diver was institutionalized due to its ability to live with the horror that he had encountered. The next one on this list is the duck-toed dum-dum, a creature categorized as a fearsome critter that is said to appear every spring. It has 2 tails resembling bass drumsticks that it beats on the tight drum skin like back, causing nearby fish to flock to the shore and shallow water to lay their eggs. The creature would usually watch all the fish gathering around. According to the text, the dum-dum emits a noise that activates the breeding stimulus in fish, allowing them to lay eggs. However, it is unclear if this creature is a real cryptid or just a joke. Apparently, the Nogarang, also known as the Vietnamese wildman, is a Bigfoot-like creature found in Vietnam, Laos and Borneo. It has black or dark reddish fur with grey patches and stands around 6 to 7 feet tall. Its hands, feet and knees are bare. The creature is said to appear alone or in small groups and referred to as buffalo monkeys or big monkeys on the Latvian border. Noirang has been reported to break into houses, abduct people and steal food. During the Vietnamese War, soldiers claimed to have seen and shot this creature, which left footprints and trails of the blood, but it was not captured. Unfortunately, no blood samples were ever recovered for further analysis. So this is a music video that can be found on YouTube under the name Unknown Creature Living Behind the Radiator. So it's basically a 1 minute long video of a guy filming a radiator, and in the end the camera slowly tries to focus the inner parts of the radiator when we see an eye on the other side. Then we hear some monkey noises and the video ends. I can't tell you much more about this, but go look it up for yourself. And please make sure you check out your radiator before sleeping, so you don't have a monkey caught somewhere in there. So let's move to the last entry on this list. The spotlight has the Wood Devil, which may be a group of a Bigfoot that can be spotted in the Coos County, New Hampshire since the 1930s. They are described as tall, around 7 to 9 feet tall, with a thin gray shaggy hair. They use trees to hide and will stay behind them until the coast is clear. Screams of this creature have been heard by hikers and outdoor men, but it's unclear if they are just all lumberjack tales or actual subspecies of the Bigfoot. It is also possible that this creature is not Bigfoot but a different species altogether. Now let's go back to 1924. There was a sighting of extraterrestrial beings known as the Dade City Flowers occurred in Dade City, Florida. While playing in a schoolyard, a young girl named Elvin Vent was temporarily blinded by a bright light. Once the light dimmed, she saw egg-shaped objects in the grass and small robotic figures carrying weapons or devices. Despite her offer to help to carry the objects, she found it too heavy. The robots communicated with her telepathically, informing her that they were planning to stop the work being done in the science building, even if they must destroy it. Afterward, the robots returned to the ship, but not before offering Elvin a chance to come with them. She refused, and they promised to return in 35 years before taking off into the sky. The creatures in question appear to be robots and look a bit like cartoon flowers. Their craft appear to be a large egg-shaped-like object. I need to say that this is a quite interesting tale from the 1920s. So this one has an interesting story behind it. It is basically a creature that was put by the creator of the Iceberg on the list. He can correct me if I'm wrong, but there isn't any story behind it. I will use this entry to thank him for making this iceberg chart, and I dare you, the viewer, to make a story about this creature in the comment section. So let's move to the next one. The Awful is a cryptid with wings that have been reportedly seen in Richford and Berkshire, Vermont by multiple witnesses. One sighting involved a sawmill worker who claimed to have seen this creature on a rooftop looking down at them as they crossed the bridge. The sighting was so terrifying that one of the men suffered a heart attack. According to the reports, the Awful had a resemblance to a griffin with a wingspan around 20 feet and grayish wings. It has also exceptionally long serpentine tail and massive claws. There are two possible explanations of the sightings of the Awful cryptid. One possible explanation could be the misidentification of an animal we know, or a misinterpretation of a natural phenomenon. It is also possible that some reported sightings were simply the result of folklore or storytelling. Without concrete evidence, it is difficult to determine the true nature of this creature. The last one on this list goes under the name Vamp. The Vamp is a creature from American folklore that is said to help hunters by attracting deer to the area. According to the legend, the Vamp is around the same size as a raccoon and has gray body shaped like a salt sack, with a hollow tail that has a salt shaker on the end of it. The Vamp goes around shaking salt at roots of trees every few miles, which deer love to lick up. They would then tell the other deer about it, leading them to increase the deer population in the areas. Deer hunters would track the Vamps as they were seen as the sign of a good hunting ground. While the existence of the Vamp is purely mythical, the legend has been passed down through generations and remains a popular part of American folklore. So that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed the last 3 layers of this iceberg chart. Now the next iceberg chart is upon you to choose. If you have some special chart you wanna see to be covered, drop a comment down below. But also if you enjoyed the video, I would appreciate if you leave a like, and of course if you're new to this channel, remember to subscribe. So that's all for me now. Thanks for watching and I catch you in the next one. Bye!